Think I go down to Venice Beach, bury my head down in the sand.
I wanted to ask you, while this issue is on the table, you know, we're merchants, we're trying to make a living, we're trying to survive. We don't have time to go down to hearings, but you know, one of the issues has been that it's unfair competition to us for this illegal vending on the other side. And two of the things that are preventing the police to be able to enforce this law in our favor is you've got this permission to give away anything on public land and accept a free will donation exchange in the P zone. That makes it where anybody can display anything. I can display a refrigerator, and if somebody wants to give me a donation, I can give them the refrigerator. And so what that comes down to is you got guys with handmade stuff, you got guys with stuff they bought from downtown, all on tables, belts, bracelets, necklaces, earrings, jewelry, stocking caps, anything you can go down to Sankey Street and buy, you find it on those tables on the other side. And people are selling that stuff. And there's no way the police can enforce that because they're allowed to display that stuff there. Can we limit it to just letting them display paintings, photographs, prints, sculptures, buttons, bumper stickers, and pamphlets? Is that a possibility? Can we try to do something to help the merchants while we got this thing on the table, or else you're going to pass something and we're going to be back where we were for the last 15 years with it, man. We need some help, you know?
Well, I hear your comment. I can tell you that, you know, we've had pretty much 6 or 7 years of uninterrupted litigation with regard to the constitutionality of the vending ban. And although there's another lawsuit pending, the portion of 4215 that the judge did not rule against was the part that involved vending. And one of the things that was important to him last time when we rewrote the law in 2008 was that people be allowed to give away things in exchange for a donation. And that, I think, is pretty much the rule, not just on the boardwalk, but in all situations involving public property. It's not recognized exception to the First Amendment that people can't ask for donations for things. So the regulation that the judge insisted that we craft provided that people could bring things to the boardwalk to give away for free. So I think the issue you're raising, unfortunately, is more one enforcement. I think if people were really required to give away some of the things you're discussing for free, the problem wouldn't exist.
So that's the other thing I was going to ask. Can we let Park and Recs have a little bit of power to help these guys enforce that stuff? Because they're there all the time. Now they're not doing anything anyway because there's no lottery system anymore. Let's get them out there monitoring this stuff. Try to help us out. Try to make it fair for the merchants.
Again, I think those are issues the task force will be talking about in weeks to come.
We still enforce violations of the P zone license.
Yeah, I know you do, but you don't have time to be out there all the time doing it. I've seen you giving guys tickets.
12 people in one day.
You get 2 tickets a year. That's like pretty cheap rent. You know what? For having a business on the sidewalk.
No, I expect, you know, with what we have to deal with.
Yeah, I'm not questioning you guys' service. We do appreciate it, but it's just not enough. And you guys are schooled in it, but the other guys that come down from you know, the city to help out on the weekends and stuff, they don't know about the vending laws and stuff like that. All they're there doing is for public safety. So it's just it's difficult for us, and I just want to know, is there something we can do? Can we get it where people cannot open a business on the sidewalk in front of our stores? Is that a possibility?
Well, I think your question is, can that section be amended to limit the the type of items that are out there that they're getting donations for, giving one away per person per day free. That'd be something the task force have to take out, whether or not the ordinance can be amended to take out any goods and merchandise, which kind of makes it limited as to refrigerators and chairs.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I'd like to say about that is we tried that. And you might remember the previous version of the ordinance prohibited even the display or accepting donations for anything that had a utilitarian purpose. And the court said that's not the standard in California. It's not the Ninth Circuit standard. So that is the standard in New York, but the courts have put us in a different legal position in California and in the Ninth Circuit.
Thank you. Mr. Shields, I saw your hand up.
Yeah, I'm a resident on the boardwalk, and I think one thing that a lot of people would have agreed on with the program before the injunction was the fact that the vendors and the expressionists didn't have to come down at 4 o'clock in the morning and start waiting and fighting for a spot. It was nice for them, I think, to walk down there at 9 o'clock, their spot was there, or at 11 o'clock and their spot was there. My question to you today is, now that the lottery is gone, vendors are feeling required to come down there at 4 o'clock in the morning, and the residents are starting to pay the price of being woken up at 4 o'clock in the morning and having the boardwalk cluttered with people waiting to fight for their spots at 9 o'clock. And I'm wondering what can be done to keep that under control until the plan is developed.
That's not really my question.
Difficult.
I think we're going to work together again as that working group to try to come up with a plan to make first come first serve work the same way.
The day after the injunction went into place, we took battery reports. We got radio calls and fights, business disputes, just like we had talked about in meetings prior that if that went through, there's no lottery system. Just like in the P zone, in the off season, there's no lottery, people fight. They've already been fighting. There's battery reports, there's been radio call after radio call, business disputes, police come down to keep the peace. What we do about it, it's a very difficult situation. Can't be in the park, before 5 a.m., so they stand on the east side of the boardwalk. In front of your house, in front of businesses, around public property, so they can stand there. So it's a very difficult situation. You can't tell people you're not allowed to stand on those front walk with all your stuff, unless you're impeding traffic, which really there isn't any traffic at 6, 7 in the morning. So we're kind of in a tight position. There's really not a lot we can do unless they're on the west side in the park before 5 in the morning. But even then, if we warn them, then they just walk across the boardwalk to the other side.
So on the, just so I understand, I don't want to call you for help if there's nothing you can do. So is the time 5 o'clock that they can be on the boardwalk without being taken over to 6 o'clock?
You can be on the boardwalk at all hours.
I thought the boardwalk closed at a certain, the park closed at a certain time.
Well, that's still an ongoing discussion between Recton Park and the city and LAPD. We believe LAPD has a belief that the park starts on the west side where the vending spaces are, and that oceanfront walk is actually a sidewalk.
And the sidewalk never closed.
So that's the position. Until we can get further clarification from the city that oceanfront walk is actually a park, which there's been debate about that back and forth. We will err on the side of caution and say that the west side of the boardwalk is not the park side.
Thank you.